So recently, a bunch of cookie clicker videos have been showing up my feed, and it gave me a bit of nostalgia. So today I'm going to make my own version. I sat down and realized my coding was a bit rusty, and I didn't really want to relearn Unity. But that's when it hit me. I could just have Chat GPT and AI do everything for me. And let me tell you, it was a pretty crazy process. I started by writing a small description of the game and asking it to give me a plan of attack. It quickly spit out a 7-step plan. But when I said everything, I meant it. As you know, Cookie Clicker has items and upgrades to speed up the process, so let's also ask ChatGPT for a list of ideas. Well, it definitely knows the game, but it'd be boring if we just copied the original. Let's make it come up with its own ideas. Much better. As I said earlier, I'm a bit rusty in game development, so before I got started, I had to be a bit more descriptive in its plan and include the new additions in an updated strategy. And it did great. Now we have a more solid strategy. It was time to get started. As described in step 1, I set up the project in Unity, added a new scene, and that's when I realized I was missing something crucial: images. Now I could just find some assets online, but that's too boring. And I certainly didn't want to make them myself. So I delegated my asset creation responsibilities to MidJourney, another incredible AI. And there we have it. My game now has a cookie. Moving on to the next step, I needed to have the score update with each click. So I went back to ChatGPT and asked for an explanation. And look at that, we have our first code snippets. Well, let's not stop there though. Might as well have it give the game manager script in step 1 as well. And it's time to copy paste our first code. But that's when I ran into my first error. Seems like it's just because ChatGPT hasn't given me the item script yet, as that's part of step 3, but let's ask. It promptly responded by saying the error was due to not creating the item script yet, and conveniently without having to ask, attach the script. So I pasted the code to find. That's when ChatGPT made its first mistake. And boy, was it not the only one. But more on that later. Let's have it fix its mistake. The item script it sent me was using different variable names than what it used in the game manager script. Rookie mistake. Come on, ChatGPT. Let's try again. And it didn't learn from its mistake. Let's just copy the whole script it wrote in a message and see if that helps. Great, it now works. Time to move on to the next step, which I might need a bit more clarification on how to accomplish. I followed all these steps, attaching the assets to the scripts.
Mission accomplished. Good work.
Time to test. I can't quite pinpoint what, but something important seems to be missing. The cookie. Let's ask what might be causing this issue. I began testing its suggestions, and nope, that didn't fix it. Nope, still not showing. Nope, that wasn't it. Guess last resort, let's delete and recreate the cookie. Phew. There it is. It's cool, we can now see the cookie, but that doesn't do us much good when it doesn't do anything. So let's move on to the next step and have it write our click functionality. Sweet, we're moving along. Time to begin working on the items and upgrades. Or should I say watch ChatGPT work on them. These scripts worked great, but I was having a major problem. The score wasn't transferring over. I tried a few things out, including a different scene for the home, items, and upgrades page, but that only led to more issues that ChatGPT couldn't quite grasp how to fix. Later in the video, I ended up switching back to one scene with a different strategy, but for now, I moved on to the implementation of the items and upgrades. I started by creating more game assets with MidJourney for these items and upgrades: an alien cookie, a quantum cookie, and a meteor shower. I explained to ChatGPT how the items would work. I wanted the meteor shower to be tied to the player's progress, so it wouldn't become meaningless at a certain point. And here's where all those issues with different scenes began to occur. No matter what it had me do, the score just wasn't transferring when I switched pages. Many hours and messages later, I switched back to a single scene, properly informed ChatGPT of my change. After some slight adjustments in my hierarchy, I managed to get the score to transfer over. Yay! But wait, why am I losing so many cookies? Seems ChatGPT started the meteor shower before I purchased it, and messed up the code a bit. I don't have the best internal clock, but that definitely seems to be quicker than once a minute. And free alien cookies? I'll gladly take them to help offset the massive amounts of cookies I'm losing, but let's fix that too. Still doesn't work though. ChatGPT has worked very hard so far, so to give a little help, I added a few debug statements and found the click method wasn't being called on my items. So I asked for a little help back, and it found my error, or its error. Maybe I should have known from adding the cookie, but hey, I'm just following its instructions. Let me know in the comments below who to chuck this error up to. And hey, while you're at it, leave a like and subscribe if you're liking the video so far. Now that that's fixed, let's have it fix the meteor shower. That looks a lot more like how the functionality is intended. But despite my rustiness, I noticed instantly it made a crucial mistake in its code. It wanted to start a 60-second timer and run the meteor effect constantly until the timer ends, then never again. I asked it and it gave me a little ego boost and sent the updated code. Time to test. Yay! The items now function as intended. Time for upgrades. I used the same 3 items and added respective upgrades as well as adding an upgrade to double the points from clicking the cookie. I added a bit of functionality to the meteor shower upgrade and asked it to reverse the negative item effect, so it would now randomly add bonus cookies. And that's when I noticed another issue with ChatGPT. With longer responses, sometimes it cuts off the rest of the code. And boy, did it give me a lot of work to do. All this copy pasting is getting a bit tedious. If only it did that for me too. Oh well, maybe one day, let's get to it. Sweet, looks like we're almost done. But the text isn't updating. Let's inform our little helper. I think it's getting a bit tired of all my questions.
20 minutes later.
Copy, paste. And there we have it. A fully functional clicker game. A huge shout out to my co-developer ChatGPT and graphic designer MidJourney. But I can't let all their work go to waste without cleaning up the design at least a little bit. I added some much needed item and upgrade descriptions and even gave my coworkers a little shout out in the names. That should be enough payment for them to help me on my next project. If you liked the video and want to see my next adventure with them, please leave a like and subscribe. Comment below what you want to see them make next. Of course, with a little instruction from yours truly.